Hello, my dear friend. Do you ever feel like this? You do everything you can for your partner, your child, your loved ones. It's like you're wearing yourself out, but the other person acts as if you're not doing anything at all. It's as if they don't see your great effort and sacrifice. Maybe you spend days preparing a wonderful birthday party for them, thinking of every detail, but at the end of the party, they turn to you and say, "I wish it had just been the two of us." And in that moment, you feel devastated. You think, is this it? That's what you say. Or maybe it's the opposite scenario. You just can't seem to feel loved. Your partner is constantly buying you gifts, surprising you, piling up the latest tech gadgets at your door. But all you really want is, at the end of the day, to rest your head on your lover's, the person you love's shoulder, and just have a little chat without being judged or criticized. To sincerely hear the question, "How was your day?" That's what you long for. If these situations I described sound familiar to you, you're not alone. Most of us experience similar disappointments in our relationships, even though we set out with the best intentions. But why? Why, despite all our efforts, can't we convey our love to the other person exactly the way we want? Or why can't we fully feel their love in our hearts? The reason for this is usually not that we have bad intentions or that the other person is ungrateful. Most of the time, the reason is that we are speaking completely different languages. Just like how someone who speaks Turkish and someone who speaks Japanese can't understand each other, we also have different languages and dialects when it comes to love. You express love by saying, "I made you soup," while the other person is waiting for you to say, "Tell me how much you missed me." They're waiting for that message. This communication breakdown over time leads to major gaps in relationships, misunderstandings, and an unfulfilled hunger for love. In this episode, I want to tell you about a wonderful key that will help you solve this fundamental communication problem in relationships: the 5 love languages. This is a very old and actually very important topic. I want to share with you concrete and practical ways to build a deeper and more meaningful connection with your partner, your child, and even your friends by understanding their love language, how you can refill your own inner reservoir of love, and how you can fill theirs as well. You can think of relationships like a car. For this car to keep going smoothly, it needs fuel. And in relationships, that fuel is love. According to this wonderful theory put forward by psychologist Dr. Gary Chapman, each of us has a love tank inside that fills up when we feel loved and slowly, or sometimes very quickly, empties when we don't. When this tank runs empty, problems start to arise in relationships. Even the smallest things begin to turn into big arguments. People start to drift apart from each other. They become two strangers living under the same roof, and that famous feeling of he/she doesn't love me anymore settles heavily in our hearts like a weight. So we can say that the way to fill up this tank, to keep that car on the road, to keep going, is to know the primary love language of the person in front of us and to insist on speaking not in our own language, but in the love language they understand. The first of these languages, and perhaps the most commonly confused, is words of affirmation. If a person's primary love language is words of affirmation, then words are more important to them than anything else. Words can either build up their world or completely destroy it. Beautiful words they hear, sincere compliments, expressions of appreciation and gratitude that show their efforts are noticed, these can be described as magical elixirs that instantly fill their love tank. "You look so beautiful today. You made this meal wonderfully. Thank you for your effort. How did you manage that tough meeting, that difficult task? I couldn't have done it myself. I'm proud of you. I see how patient you are when dealing with the kids, and I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you're in our lives." Sentences like these can be more valuable to them than the most expensive gift or the greatest sacrifice. For these people, criticism, destructive words, sarcastic hints, and mocking expressions are like a poison that instantly drains their love tank. The joking way you say, "Did you forget again? You're so forgetful." A sentence like this can open a deep wound in their heart. If you think that your partner's or child's love language is this, the first practical thing you can do is to focus on their positive traits and behaviors like a detective and express these to them frequently. This includes not only praising what they do, but also their character. "You're so thoughtful. You have such a generous heart. You're such a tolerant person." And so on. The second method is to convey these beautiful words not only by speaking, but also by writing them. A note written where they can see it when they wake up in the morning saying, "Good morning, my love, darling, I love you." A sentence like this, or an unexpected message during the day saying, "You came to my mind, I just started thinking about you. I'm so glad you exist." Or a note you put in your child's lunchbox saying, "I wish you a wonderful day, my dear son, my dear daughter." A small note like this can brighten their entire day and make them feel deeply loved, leaving no room for doubt. Now let's move on to the second love language, quality time. For people whose love language is quality time, the most important thing is to spend undivided, focused, and meaningful time with their loved one. Here, the key word is quality. In other words, it's not about spending hours in the same room while one of you scrolls through social media on your phone and the other watches a TV series. That's not quality time. It's about those precious moments when you are together, focusing solely and entirely on each other, giving each other your full attention. For them, love means spending time with you is so valuable to me that right now I've set aside everything else, the whole world, and I'm here just with you. It's about receiving that message. If your partner's love language is quality time, putting your phone on silent and setting it aside while talking to them, looking into their eyes and asking, "How was your day? Is everything okay?" Genuinely asking out of curiosity is for them the greatest expression of love you can show. And this is our third method, active listening. Listening not just to hear them, but to understand them, showing interest in what they share, asking questions about what they say, and allowing the conversation to deepen. The same thing applies to your child, by the way. Even if you only play with them in their room for 15 minutes, don't let your mind wander elsewhere. Don't think about chores or bills. Focus entirely on that moment, on that game. Our fourth practical method is to create regular, meaningful rituals together. Maybe create a special date night just for the two of you once a week. It doesn't have to be an expensive dinner out. It could even be watching a movie together at home or playing a game. So there's no need for amazing things or expensive things. Maybe taking a walk together on weekends or going for a short walk every evening after dinner, staying away from technology and having conversations like this, even reflecting on the day together, are all ways to spend quality time, in my opinion. These specially planned moments will fill their love tank to the brim, because this shows them that you can't give a gift more valuable than your time. Our third love language is receiving gifts. When we hear this language, superficial materialism or self-interest might immediately come to mind, but that's actually not the case at all. For people whose love language is receiving gifts, what matters is not the monetary value of the gift, but the thought behind it. Look, this is an important detail. For them, a gift is a tangible symbol of love, of being remembered, of being thought of. You came to my mind, I thought of you, and I got this for you. That message is priceless to them. For these people, a gift is the tangible, visible form of love. If this is your loved one's primary love language, as the fifth method, I can suggest this. Give them thoughtful, personal, and meaningful gifts. It could be a scarf you saw in a shop window while passing by, one that you know would really suit their style. It could be their favorite chocolate that you picked up while shopping at the market, or the latest book by their favorite author. It could even be a book by Beyhan Budak. It could be a bouquet of flowers you bought to cheer them up after a tough day. These are some of the most effective ways to say, "I love you" to them. The sixth method is to remember special days and moments, not forgetting dates that are important to them, like birthdays or the anniversary of when you met, and celebrating these days with small, meaningful gestures that don't have to be grand will show how much you value and care about them. In fact, sometimes the most meaningful gift is a memory, like framing a photo you took together and putting it on their desk. Remember, the point here is not to open your wallet, but to open your heart and mind and to spend time and thought. Our fourth love language is acts of service. For these people, that famous saying, "Actions speak louder than words," is almost a life philosophy. For them, love is expressed through concrete actions, the things that are done, and the burdens lifted from their shoulders. Let me help you. You're very tired. Let me do the dishes tonight. Sentences and actions like these are far more valuable to them than the most romantic poems or the most expensive gifts. If your partner's love language is acts of service, rather than hearing sweet words from you every day, they would prefer to come home tired from work and see that the house is tidy, dinner is ready, or the children's homework has been helped with. That's why our seventh practical method is to proactively lighten their responsibilities and burdens without waiting for them to ask. We can say that doing a task that they are supposed to do before they get to it, noticing that they are tired and making them some tea, or creating a half hour of rest for them by taking care of the kids is the most direct and powerful way to make them feel loved. The eighth method is to directly ask them, "What can I do today to make your life easier?" Or "How can I help you?" is to ask. It might feel strange to ask this, but it really doesn't matter. Even this simple question is a powerful expression of love, showing that you care about their needs, that you are a teammate with them, and that you are by their side in the face of life's challenges. And finally, our fifth love language is physical touch. For people whose love language is physical touch, touching is the most fundamental, instinctive, and direct expression of love. Hugging, holding hands, a friendly touch on the shoulder, or a gentle pat on the back, these kinds of contact are their way of forming emotional bonds and feeling loved. This kind of touch is not limited to sexuality alone. On the contrary, every touch that conveys trust, compassion, and support instantly fills their love tank. If your partner's or child's love language is physical touch as the ninth method, you can try making small, affectionate touches throughout the day that may seem insignificant but are full of warmth. Touching their shoulder as you walk by, holding their hand while watching TV, leaning your shoulder against theirs when sitting side by side on the couch, or placing your hand on their leg while driving. These small gestures of physical contact will greatly strengthen the bond and trust between you. Our 10th method, of course, is to say good morning or good night with loving hugs that make them feel safe, always considering their consent and comfort. Especially for children, a loving embrace is vitally important for them to feel safe, to know they are valued, and to develop emotionally in a healthy way. Thank you for listening to me. Take very good care of yourself. See you soon. Goodbye.